All right, hey VC, I'm Jamie. Welcome back. We are back with another video. And yes, as the title suggests on this one, yes, I did inherit a record collection. This record collection belonged to my aunt. Her name is Fern. She's my mother's sister. Fern is well in her 90s, and sadly, her health is declining. So she has had to move or give up her apartment and move into a nursing home where she currently resides. So she had no further use for her record collection, so I got it. So we'll take a look at what Fern has in her record collection. Now, again, there are absolutely no grails in this one. These are records mainly from the 1950s, you know, reflective of someone like Fern who's in her 90s, reflective of the time, soundtracks, that sort of stuff. So there's no psych grails, there's no jazz grails on here in this one. There's some interesting crooner stuff, but if you are a Frank Sinatra fan, stick around because it's a pretty good Frank Sinatra haul. Now, it's interesting, someone like Fern did a fair bit of moving. She grew up in this area, but then she became a nurse and then moved to Chicago for the most of her adult life, and then came back to this area and retired, and is currently now in a nursing home. So yeah, we'll take a look at the record collection. Sorry about the grandfather clock going off in the background there. So we'll take a look at this, and hopefully you'll enjoy. There's some interesting stuff in here. And kind of, I think the quote has been attributed to Ray Davis of the Kings, that when you look at someone's record collection, or maybe if you go through their book collection as well, it's like a window into someone's soul. And I really did feel that with Fern's collection. It was kind of a window into Fern's the music that she enjoyed. When we helped to clear out the apartment, some of the books that she'd picked up over the years were really fascinating. So it really does give you that window, at least a little bit, into someone's soul, or what kind of collection that they had. So let's, without further ado, take a look at it. We got a fair bit of records to go through, so I won't spend too long in each one. Okay, and here we go. We have a compilation off the top. This is called Taken from the Top, Peak Performances Recorded Live in Person at various places like Coconut Grove on stage, Las Vegas, Town Hall, Mardi Gras, the Waldorf, that sort of thing. So the one track on here, man, I've had a chance to listen to this one. The Della Reese track, On Stage, You Came a Long Way from St. Louis, is just dynamite. But an interesting selection of artists. You got Louis Prima on here, Al Hirt, Lena Horne, the Limelighters, Louis Armstrong's on here as well, or Louis Armstrong. And yeah, so these are all recorded live. So I thought that was a really sort of interesting compilation. And speaking of Lena Horne, here is Lena Horne and I Feel So Smoochy. Love the title of that one. And just the smooth sounds of Lena Horne. And this is on the Lion label, which I was not familiar with. Okay. We've got some soundtrack stuff and some movie stuff. Now, this is a Carousel, but this is not a movie soundtrack or the original Broadway or play soundtrack. This is a studio recording from the 50s on Carousel, and it features a variety of actors or singers, including Florence Henderson, who you might remember, of course, from the Brady Bunch. So this came out, I think, in the mid to late 50s. Carousel predates that. So yeah, one of those kind of studio concept albums, if you will, spotlighting Carousel. Okay, we've got, again, a fair bit of soundtrack stuff. So we got Zero Mostel's, in Fiddler on the Roof. And we also have, what else have we got here? The Music Man with Robert Preston, the original Broadway cast. Nice gatefold on that one. And this, I think, is the only classical album in her record collection, Brahms Symphony No. 1 with the NBC Symphony Orchestra. There you go. Okay, and so if it's a record collection from the 50s, chances are you're going to have a Jim Reeves album. This one, The Best of Jim Reeves. And we've also got another sort of budget release in terms of Marty Robbins, 18 songs you'll always love. And we've got more soundtrack stuff. This is an interesting one. So this is a single album, but it's featuring Showboat on one side and then An American in Paris on the other side. But it's a nice gatefold, but it's a single album. So I've never seen anything quite like that before. Nice gloss on this one. Okay, how about, you got to have some Andy Williams if it's a record collection from the 50s. So this is Andy Williams, two-time winners, and this is his pre-Columbia days. So this is on the Cadence label. And then, of course, we've got the pretty standard Andy Williams, Days of Wine and Roses. Okay, of course, we got to have some Barbra Streisand. And it's interesting, some of these albums, many of them have the original sleeves, and then some of them don't have any sleeves at all. So this is a Barbra Streisand and the third album. And then we've got Barbra Streisand and Funny Girl. And the nice gatefold on this. And then we've got a couple of Johnny Mathis records. We've got Johnny Mathis Heavenly. And what else have we got here? Johnny Mathis Greatest Hits. And generally the quality of the vinyl is generally pretty good. Now she moved around a little bit, so it was a lot of back and forth, but generally the vinyl seems like it's in pretty good condition. I haven't had a chance to listen to everything, but Johnny Mathison, wonderful. Okay, now this is an interesting one. Trina Lopez at PJ's, recorded live by popular demand. I haven't had a chance to listen to this one, but intrigued by that one. And of course we got some Perry Como, We Get Letters, another Barbra Streisand album, the Barbra Streisand album. Okay, this compilation I was aware of because I think my parents had this one. This is Lullabies of Birdland, Jazz Greats and All-Time Favorites from the Jazz Corner of the World. Nice selection of artists on this one. Okay, we've also got, I think this is the only Herb Alpert in her collection, SRO. And we've also got a Barry Manilow record, Trying to Get the Feeling. There you go. What else have we got here? We've got, now, here's an artist I was never big on, but the older I get, my dad used to really like this artist, and I've got a growing appreciation for Jackie Gleason. I mean, you could say, yeah, it's schmaltzy, but I don't know, the strings, and I like it. It's pretty relaxing music, so happy to see a couple of Jackie Gleason albums. Jackie Gleason presents music for The Love Hours. There you go. And we've got Jackie Gleason, music for lovers only. Of course, Jackie Gleason of the Honeymooners fame. And Jackie Gleason plays romantic jazz. Haven't had a chance to listen to these, but looking forward to them. And on the Capitol label. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Some interesting, again, compilations. Remember How Great Volume 2. So you've got Cab Calloway, Tony Benton, but then you've got the Champs doing tequila on this one, along with Patty Page and Guy Mitchell and Rosemary Clooney. So this one, yeah, this is a Columbia Record Products label. I've never seen that Columbia label before. Had a chance to listen to this. This is dynamite. This is The Wildest Show at Tahoe. Louis Prima and Keely Smith. This is terrific. Really, really terrific. And I think it's got, it's got one of the original sleeves on it. Very nice. Okay, so there's that. And then we've got Keely Smith album. This is a Keely Smith and I Wish You Love. All right, and we've got some Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond, Do It. This is on Bang Records, featuring, of course, early Neil Diamond stuff. Kind of nice to see that. And then we've got Neil Diamond and, what is it? Yes, Beautiful Noise, produced by Robbie Robertson. And nice gatefold here. This one you often see in thrift stores and things like that. Neil Diamond, You Don't Bring Me Flowers. And we've got Neil Diamond Stones, and this has the original sort of thing in the back here that lifts up. And we've also got got some Hank Snow, more Hank Snow souvenirs. This is quite nice to have. Produced by Chet Atkins. The obligatory Kenny Rogers Greatest Hits. Now this is one, when you talk about generational, I don't know why this is, my parents had a copy of this, and I just think something about the time period through 50s, early 60s, it seems that everybody had a copy of The Beatle Beat featuring The Bugs, I Want to Hold Your Hand. And as I recall, these guys pictured on the cover aren't even the musicians on this one, but this one's actually in really nice condition because you often see this one a little beaten up. But capitalizing on the whole Beatles thing. But gosh, from a generation, everybody seemed to have a copy of that one. As most had a copy of this. This is a terrific album. Errol Garner and Concert by the Sea. An absolutely terrific album. Okay, a little bit of Elvis, but not much. Elvis, How Great Thou Art, as sung by Elvis Presley. And there's that new Elvis movie that's going to be coming out that features Tom Hanks as Colonel Tom Parker. Okay, this is another compilation. This is Remember How Great. That features Louis Armstrong, Cal Basie, Cab Calloway, Tommy Dorsey, a collector's item for Lucky Strike. There you go. Custom pressed for Lucky Strike cigarettes. Different time. There you go. Okay, now my Aunt Fern was also a Rod Stewart fan. So this is Rod Stewart, Footloose and Fancy Free. And this one does include the original insert as well. And not familiar with this artist, but this is Helen O'Connell and Green Eyes, probably without being so, I don't think it's necessarily Irish, but that is the greenest cover I've ever seen. Okay, Gordon Lightfoot and Sit Down Young Stranger. Now this is I think the third sort of configuration of this cover, because it was Sit Down Young Stranger, and then it became If You Could Read My Mind. So this is Sit Down Young Stranger, and then they would later put this on, this kind of hype sticker that's sort of on it, and then they would change it to that title. So there's at least three different configurations of that one, but a classic. Also another great one, Gordon Lightfoot, Summer Sight of Life. Joan Baez. I'm a little surprised my Aunt Fern had any Joan Baez in her collection. She never mentioned appreciating this artist, but the first Joan Baez in concert album, very nice. Al Hirt, pretty common in anyone that had a record collection from the 50s and 60s. Al Hirt. Okay, now this was a nice find. Nice, at least an original copy or early copy of Ella and Louis, or Ella and Louis, April in Paris. So nice. Really happy to get that. April in Paris featured on here. Foggy Day, Tenderly, Nearness of You. Really happy about that. In its original, I believe, original sleeve as well. So very, very nice to see that. We have the Montague 3, indicative of sort of the times where a lot of these kind of almost like travelogue kind of records that came out. This one spotlights the Bahamas, and Nassau, Bahamas. You know, it's very light, entertaining, but interesting at the same time. I did enjoy listening to that one. Okay, now this was a surprise. I didn't know she had any Muddy Waters in her collection. This is Muddy Waters at Newport, the absolute classic album. I think this is a later pressing, although I've never seen the pressing that has a black and white cover before. But and this one with the electronically altered to simulate stereo. But yeah, Muddy Waters at Newport on vinyl in my aunt's collection. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, we've also got, of course, some Bing Crosby. We've got some more soundtrack stuff coming up. Mary Martin's Sound of Music with the gatefold. We've also got this one, Around the World in 80 Days on Decca. And we've got Hello Dolly, Carol Channing. And what else have we got here? We've got Dr. Zhivago with the original booklet that's included, that sort of thing. And then this is a comedy record that I've never actually had a chance to listen to. But again, a comedy record that anybody who had a record collection in the 50s, early 60s particularly, chances are they had this one. This is The First Family featuring Von Meter, a comedy record that I've never really had a chance to listen to, but I've seen this countless times. So I'm looking forward to actually giving this a listen. And my Aunt Fern also had an interesting fascination with the Kennedy family, both John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, that sort of thing as well, because she had a lot of books in her collection about John Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy. So this I've never seen, familiar with it, but Anthony Newley, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. So looking forward to listening to this soundtrack. Oh, and it's almost, you get the crease break even going on, so maybe it wasn't enjoyed all that much. But this one, mono on the London label. Okay, see what else we got here. Hall of Fame hits, and Tony Bennett, Rosemary Clooney, The Four Lads, Percy Faith. Okay, we've got a couple of Doris Day records, I believe. Yeah, we got Doris Day, Cuttin' Capers. And then we've also got Wonderful Day, Doris Day. Okay. And we've got a Christmas record here. Christmas with Jackie Gleason, in fact. And we've also got, and this was interesting, this is in her collection, Willie Nelson's Honeysuckle Rose. Nice to have this on vinyl. Okay, there's that. Interesting that she was also a Paul McCartney fan, so we have the Beatles and Hey Jude, their compilation, and then we also got Paul McCartney and Tug of War in its original shrink with the original hype sticker, so that was interesting to find. This was a nice find, Aretha Franklin and Amazing Grace, the classic double album. Very nice to see this from Fern's record collection, very nice. Okay, these tend to now start to go for a fair bit of money when you get these original Walt Disney soundtracks, so Walt Disney, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, all the songs from the motion picture, and we've also got David Rose, Nostalgia, sorry about the clock, on MGM. We've got one Judy Garland record, just simply titled Judy, that's on Capitol. And we've got a Burl Ives record, It's Just My Funny Way of Laughing. And then we've got Polly Bergen, The Party's Over. Not familiar with Polly Bergen. I think she was sort of an actress, singer sort of thing. Okay, this is nice. This is a Sarah Vaughan record. Again on Lion, like the Lena Horne record. Here's an odd one. I did have a chance to listen to this. More college drinking songs, uncensored, sung by the Blazers. And I think uncensored on here means pretty much singing about, you know, somebody being in the nude or something like that. I think it's about as risque as they get. But college drinking songs, glorious beer, songs like that. Okay, a K-Star record, a Blue Star by K-Star. Okay, we're getting close to the Sinatra stuff. And we got Tony Bennett, the classic, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. Okay, so here is the Frank Sinatra stuff. And I knew my aunt, again, was a big Frank Sinatra fan, but yeah, she had a fair bit of Frank Sinatra vinyl in her collection as well. So I was pretty happy with this. So let's get to it. Frank Sinatra, Nice and Easy. We've got 2 copies of Only the Lonely. And I was thinking, why 2 copies? The one is a later Capitol reissue, and this one would be at least closer to an original issue. Classic record, Frank Sinatra, Only the Lonely. And a nicer copy of a later issue there. We got Frank Sinatra, My Way. Classic. Hadn't seen this one. Frank Sinatra, and this is The World We Knew Over and Over, This Town, this song, Born Free, and Frank and Nancy, Something Stupid. It's kind of like I guess it's like a sort of a reprise compilation, but I've never seen this one before. Very nice. Frank Sinatra with Gordon Jenkins and Where Are You? Again, these are all like early original copies. Frank Sinatra and She Shot Me Down. And my Aunt Fern definitely saw Frank Sinatra a couple of times and did see the Frank Sinatra that's on reprise with Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. the last time they got together. And of course, this is Frank Sinatra, The Main Event Live. So yeah, and me being a Frank Sinatra fan as well, pretty happy with this Frank Sinatra haul. Softly As I Leave You, with the hype sticker still kind of attached there. On reprise, we've got Tommy Dorsey with Frank Sinatra, I Remember Tommy, and this with the nice kind of cover there, the die cut cover, and this on reprise. Oh, such a classic Frank Sinatra album. Frank Sinatra in the Wee Small Hours. Wonderful. Frank Sinatra, Frankie, this is the early Columbia stuff. Got Frank Sinatra and That Old Feeling on Columbia. Frank Sinatra, The Best of Frank on Capitol. That often used photo. We got Frank Sinatra, Come Dance With Me. Great album. Great album. And a lot of the Frank Sinatra stuff I have is on CD, and I've got the big Frank Sinatra. I've got some Capitol boxes on CD, and I've also got some cat hair that's floating around. But I've also got a big Frank Sinatra Reprise CD box set as well. So nice to have this on vinyl. Looks like a mono copy of Frank Sinatra and September, My Years. Very nice. Okay, what else have we got here? We've got, let's see here, Frank Sinatra. This is Sinatra on Capitol. Frank Sinatra's Greatest Hits on Reprise. Frank Sinatra, Put Your Dreams Away on Columbia. And then we've got Frank Sinatra, My Pal Joey, or Pal Joey. And that was on Capitol. Okay. We got Frank Sinatra, A Man and His Music. Certainly have seen this one before. Very nice. And we got Frank and the Frank Sinatra Story in Music on Columbia. Wow. Like that and like that. As some of these records are flopping around here. Hang on just one sec. Okay, we've also got, this is such a great album. I've never been big on this cover for some reason. I just don't really like the cover. I don't know why, but Frank Sinatra, Songs for Swingin' Lovers is a dynamite album for sure. Frank Sinatra, All the Way on Capitol. Never seen this one before. Wow. Of course, Frank Sinatra, another great one on Capitol, Come Swing With Me. You know, these are just classic albums. This one I've never seen. Magnavox Presents. So this is not really a Frank Sinatra compilation. Frank Sinatra is featured on here with 4 tracks, but then they also have like Harper's Bazaar, The Association. This probably was some sort of like a promotional kind of copy sort of thing, but Magnavox Presents, a reprise of great hits starring The Association, Count Basie, Harper's Bazaar, Don Ho, Barbara McNair, Nelson Riddle, and Frank Sinatra. There you go. Another great Frank album, Swingin' Affair. Frank Sinatra's Swingin' Sessions. Frank Sinatra and Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra again. And this is on Coronet Records. Wow. Frank Sinatra and the Swingin' Brass on Reprise. Great stuff. Oh, this, wow, what a great album. This is Francis Albert Sinatra and Antonio Carlos Jobim, and this is an absolutely beautiful album on Reprise. We've also got Frank Sinatra, Come Fly With Me, and in nice condition too, which is really nice. Okay, we've got that. Still going with some Frank. We got Frank Sinatra Sings of Love and Things, and this is on Capitol. You got Frank Sinatra and Come Dance With Me with Billy May, another classic. And I think that's it. Yes, that is it for the Frank Sinatra. If I've arranged this properly, and we'll just wrap it up with very best of Don Messer, Canadian fiddle player, had a TV show for a long time. Canadian classic. And then we've also got Kingston Trio, Here We Go Again. I think just one Kingston Trio album. You'd think my aunt would have maybe had a few more. Another soundtrack stuff, King and I. And we've also got, now this is interesting, Spike Lee's Christmas Spectacular. Very happy to pick this one up. Boy. And this is on Verve, so I'm going to really look forward to that, listening to that one. A couple of more Christmas albums. We got Percy Faith and his orchestra. Not a Christmas album, but we've got Pat Boone. Howdy. Howdy, Pat. All right, and then we've got an odd Johnny Cash compilation, Johnny Cash Special 20 Hits Volume 1, and this is on Syndicate Product, which was like sort of another sort of Canadian K-Tel sort of thing going on there. Is this a Pickwick release? But Tennessee Ernie Ford, Standing in the Need of Prayer. So the gospel stuff of Tennessee Ernie Ford. Another great Christmas album, of course, by Wilf Carter, the Canadian singer Wilf Carter, Christmas in Canada. And then we've got one more Wilf Carter album. This is 40th Anniversary Special, Wilf Carter 2-record set. And then we've got another Wilf Carter album, and this is The Best of Wilf Carter. And then last but not least, as I mentioned, an odd record I wasn't expecting to see in my aunt's record collection. She's in her mid-90s. Sam Kinison, comedian, the late great wild comedian Sam Kinison. So this is a comedy record by Sam Kinison that I just wasn't expecting. Louder than hell in my aunt's record collection. I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but certainly going to look forward to hearing this on Warner Brothers. Sam Kinison, but hey, why not? So again, yeah, that's the record collection from my Aunt Fern. I'm going to certainly be enjoying these albums. Thank you again, Fern, and certainly we're thinking of you, Fern. So again, if you're still here, thanks so much for dropping by, and we will chat again soon. Do take care. Bye-bye.